Access to Information Act 1985 to prevent a member of the public who had reasonably attended the meeting from the local community and had chosen to record parts of this allegedly transparent and open council meeting. Why did the council chairman not seek prior guidance from the legal representative present in relation to the legislation, understanding the interpretation of the council members' understanding of the legislation, which was clearly incorrect, or follow council meetings procedures, and advise an adjournment or consider the council's position, given that there is no formal council policy in force, and resulting in the requested detention of a member of the public who was believed to be recording proceedings.
Thank you, Mr. Chipperfield Taylor. Could I now ask the Leader of the Council to respond? Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chairman, and can I thank you, Mr. Chipperfield Taylor, for your question, your first question. The Council's Constitution, Article 5, states that the Chairman of the Council is to preside over meetings of the Council so that business can be carried out efficiently, which includes preserving the order and conduct of those present. It is properly for the Chairman of the Council to make decisions as to the management of the meeting. Notwithstanding this, however, I trust you are aware that in tonight's meeting, a report will be presented to Council for it to consider the adoption of a protocol and standing order for incorporation into the Council's Constitution to deal with future requests to record proceedings. This will give members of the public clearer access to filming procedures should they so wish to do.
Thank you. Mr. Chipperfield Taylor, in accordance with Council Procedure Law 11A, you may now ask a supplementary question if you so wish.
Okay, thank you, Madam Chairman. In the referred to document, which is part of the meeting this evening that's been distributed, the Council have clearly not considered the rights of disabled people under the Equality Act. The Equality Act legislation has not been mentioned in any part of the Council's documentation. With regards to recording at the meeting, the information that was seen from that recording, there was no attempt by any member of the Council, including the Chair or Leader, to establish whether the individual recording had any such rights which you were not aware of. Can we establish, please, why the Council failed at the meeting on the 8th of December to establish the requirements of the individual under such legislation as the Equality Act, and secondly, the intention of the individual to record at that meeting, whereby under the quoted legislation referred to, the Local Government Access to Information Act, the prevention there is only for that information being recorded if it is to be shared by parties not present in the meeting. There was no attempt to establish this fact. The question is, why not?
Yeah, thank you, and can I thank you again for your supplementary question. I've been advised by Council and the monitoring officer that as the issues you raise are of a technical and legal nature, it will be appropriate to ensure you are provided with a full written response from the Council's monitoring and legal officers in due course.
Could I now ask you, Mr. Chipperfield Taylor, to ask your second question?
Second question, Madam Chair, is why has it taken a member of the public, i.e. myself, to identify failings in the Council's own procedures and policies following the incident on the 8th of December 2011, insofar as there is no policy or procedure in place, and wasn't at the 8th of December, regarding the recording in any format of any public meeting or meeting taking place with the Council and members of the public. Noting recording of meetings such as formal interviews already takes place within the Council. I would like an explanation of the Council's interpretation of the legislation, Section 7, subsection 7, relied upon at the meeting on the 8th of December to prevent the lawful recording of what should have been an open, public and allegedly transparent meeting without first confirming the intention whether the recording was, as permitted under the legislation, for use with those present, which would have been lawful. I believe the Council should make a public formal apology for its handling of the event on the 8th of December.
Thank you. Can I ask Councillor Knight to respond?
Thank you, Madam Chairman. And can I thank you again, sir, for your second question. You're quite correct that the Council had no formal policy in place to deal with requests to film Council meetings in December, and we thank you and other members of the public for raising this oversight. As previously stated, a report appears later in the agenda for the Council to consider adopting a policy to rectify this. The proposed protocol, if adopted, will adequately balance competing interests by permitting the recording of meetings to ensure greater openness and transparency, whilst ensuring appropriate safeguards are in place to protect the rights of other members of the public, and particularly children who are possibly attending meetings. The Council's interpretation of the legislation quoted is set out in the report appearing later on, which Councillor Barron will move in tonight's agenda. I thank you once again for your concern and your questions.
Mr. Chipperfield, have you a
I find it very interesting on how other authorities across the country deal with these issues. Because like this authority, like so many others, want to ensure that it is transparent and is open at public meetings. However, there needs to be some enforcement to ensure that it is done correctly. This report for the Council Chairman is to consider options for the recording of the Council and committee meetings and to determine a favoured approach and policy with regard to future requests. We as a Council have to ensure that it deals with future requests to film or record at Council and Council committees in an open and transparent manner, whilst continuing to enable the Council's decision-making process to operate effectively and efficiently. The Local Government Act of 1972 states that councils can make standing orders to regulate procedures at meetings. Generally speaking, we have a broad discretion on how the council regulates this. Section 100A of the 1972 Act was inserted by the Local Government Access to Information Act 1985. This relates to public access to meetings and documents. It does not require or impose any obligation on a council to permit audio or visual recordings. This council can legitimately restrict or control the recording of meetings and introduce a standing order incorporated into its constitution to reflect this. Any standing order the council adopts must be reasonable, and the decision must have reached having taken into account all relevant factors as set out in this report. There are 5 options within this report. Chairman, it is recommended that Council adopts options 2 and 4, and this will see the Council use audio recording in its Council meetings and making these available online. It was also put into place a process for the public to make a prior request to record one of our meetings. Adoptions of these options will ensure the Council's meetings are open and transparent, and the Council is reflecting both the legislative requirements and the recent government guidance, while also ensuring the decision-making process is able to proceed without undue disruption or interference to the private rights of the public in attendance at meetings. We also have a duty to ensure a cost-effective, robust and transparent policy is put in place. And we will also ensure the Constitution is amended to reflect the Council's approved process. I move those recommendations, Chairman. Thank you.
Does anyone else wish to speak? If not, then we'll go to Councillor Wilmot.
Yes, in seconding this report, I support the recommendation and its commitment to further openness and transparency during council meetings. But it must be cost effective, so the suggestion to adopt options 2 and 4 seems a sensible solution that will bring a citizen the right to freedom of expression. Madam Chairman, however, it must not distract the proceedings or obstruct the maintenance of good order, and must ensure the council retains an element of control. So with all that in mind, I support the recommendation to approve the adoption of options 2 and 4, together with the protocol and constitutional provisions as set out in the appendices. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Mrs Turner.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'd see option 2. It says a cost of £600. But I'm quite sure that there will have to be some officer time included in this to make sure it's operated correctly. I was wondering whether or not we've assessed how much officer time will be needed and assessed how much that will cost. So be pleased if the portfolio holder could inform me, Madam Chair, how much that will cost.
Thank you, Councillor Turner. I think it's very simple, Councillor Turner, how you do this. And we have recording instruments in front of us now. And all it is a matter of putting a tape or a SD card into a machine, and that does it. Thank you, Chair.
Madam Chair, that isn't, can I just put clarification? I've read that. That's easy to read. I've read that, and that's a cost of £600. But behind this, there will be other costs. There will be staffing issues here. If we're going to put it on the internet, for example, somebody will have to put it on the internet. We are going to have to manage it. I'm wondering, will there be a dedicated member of staff managing this? And if there is, how much will that member of staff cost this authority?
If you would just allow me to respond, fine, Chairman, thank you. As far as I'm aware, Councillor Turner, it will be dealt with through corporate communications. There will be no extra staff required, but as a safeguard for all elected members and people within this room, if audio recordings are made and there is a counteracting statement that is made, we have it evidence that this is the true recording of what happened at the meetings.
Does anyone else wish to speak? I'm sorry, Mr. Chipfield Taylor. I can't bring you to speak. It's for the councillors. Thank you. Right then. All in favour? Unanimous. Thank you.